welcome to Full Throttle, and today I'm going to show you how to change your valve lifters on a 1999 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Now these Eclipses are known for having lifter issues, so we got a set of the revised 3G lifters that should help fix the ticking that's going on right now. Also, while you do this, I do recommend replacing the valve cover gasket and spark plug seals. We got this one right here, and we're going to be showing you how to do that today since there's not a whole lot of tutorials on there. First off, you're going to take off your PCV valve right here. You're going to want to take out your spark plug boots, and then we're going to start going around loosening all of these bolts. You also are going to want to loosen or completely take off the timing cover right here, only the upper one, and if you have an air intake like mine, you're going to want to take this off right here. Alright, now that we have all these bolts off, we're going to want to start removing the valve cover. Of course, might need a little bit of a flathead to try to wedge it up under here. And yeah, so we're going to take off the valve cover now. Alright, now you can see that we have the valve cover off. You're going to want to put rags in 6 of these holes right here. All these holes leading to the crankcase, because you don't want anything falling in there. Alright, now you can see we stuffed the paper towels in there. And we're going to go ahead and take off these bolts, holding the shaft on. Now when you take off these bolts, you want to make sure that you don't let these come off of the shaft right here. Sorry. You want to make sure you don't let these come off of the shaft right here when you take these off and pull them off. Alright, now that all these bolts are loose and we're getting ready to just take them out, I like to use this metal tray right here to keep them aligned in the configuration they came out, just so everything stays in order. Keeps them organized. We're going to take off the exhaust side, and then we're going to move on to the intake side. Also, these are what the hydraulic lifters look like. Come in a box like this. They look just like this. Alright, so we went ahead and got all of those out right there. And went ahead and pulled it off. We put it right over here on this lid with some shop rags on it. And made sure to make sure that all these are in the place they were. Now some of these fell off into the valve area. Just make sure you get all of them. These were the things that we're replacing, and these are the things that were making all that noise. Of course, here's your valves. Now you want to check the valve stems and see the damage on them, because when you're ticking like that, your valve stems right here are getting damaged. So if you have any damage on them, you want to just take a little bit of sandpaper and sand them down a tiny bit so they're all smooth. These don't look too bad, surprisingly. It's been ticking for a while, but some of them might need a little sanding, but most of them don't look too bad. Alright, I got all of them out of the tops right here. Now you can see they have a little port in there for oil. That's why you want to keep the orientation they're in. So this side with the hole goes towards that, and then this closed side stays pointing toward the valve stems. Alright, there we go. We're going to be reinstalling these ones right here. And they're going to go in just like that. Now I like to cover them in a little bit of oil, so I'm going to cover all these in oil, let them soak in their little things for a little bit, and then we'll put them back in. Alright, these have been sitting in some oil for a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and reinstall them now. Put them in a little bit thicker of oil, just till they break in. And the seal goes towards the top. Kind of like that. And they should kind of just slide in. Just like that. Alright, we just finished putting them in the exhaust side right there. Next we're going to start taking off the intake side. Do the exact same process on the intake side. Then we're going to start putting everything back. I'm going to take some 800 grit sandpaper I have and just kind of clean up these ends, even though they feel pretty smooth and they look like they haven't been very damaged. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so I have you guys on the GoPro now. I'm going to go ahead and put this back right here. We want to make sure none of these fall out as I put it in here. Make sure everything's lined up. Make sure everything's aligned. And if one of these does fall out, or a couple for that matter, it's not that too big of a deal. Just go ahead and put them back. Kind of like this one over here, these fell out right here. I'm just going to go ahead and slip them back in. Just want to make sure everything's lined up. You want these rollers to point towards the middle, just like the way you took them off. Alright, now we can move back down our bolts that we put in the tray. Line those up. And then we're going to put those back. Also want to make sure this is the right orientation. It should have the markings of where these came off right here. Just want to put it back in their correct place. So everything's just like when you take it apart. Alright, now we're going to do the intake side. And that's the exact same process that you did right here. Alright, we've gone ahead and reinstalled the exhaust side. I personally like to tighten these down like you do with valve cover. Here, 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 here. Just from the out in. And you snug them up and then you go back and tighten them down. It's just how I did it. Now we're going to do the exhaust side. Then start putting everything else back together. How to paint your valve cover right here. First of all, you want to take all your spark plug seals out along with your valve cover seal, because this is the time you're going to want to replace it. And then you're going to put it in a soapy bath like this and get all the grease off. I'm going to actually leave this in here overnight, and then it'll be ready to paint tomorrow. Alright, next, after you're done giving it its first wash, you're going to want to take some sandpaper and just rough it up all around. This is 220 grit. You don't want to get any of this, like the PCV valve or around the oil or spark plugs really, but really just want to get into all the nooks and crannies, especially in here, because the better you do in this stage, the better everything else is going to stick. Alright, next thing you're going to want to do is tape off all the parts that you don't want painted, like here. I'm going to put a circle here, inside of here, and cover this up right there. Alright, now that I have everything I wanted to tape off taped off, we're going to go ahead and take some rubbing alcohol and just give this one more wipe down with a lint-free rag before we lay down the first set of primer. Alright, so we have our first layer of primer down right now. I'm hitting it with the heat gun because it's a little cold in here. But we're just going to get this primer down. It is sandable primer, so we're going to hit it with this. Get a pretty good coating, sand it down a little, and then paint it. Alright, we've done a couple layers of primer here. It's starting to look pretty good just with primer, but we're going to take some, right here, this is 800 grit sandpaper, and just sand it down one last time and then start the color paint. Alright, and here it is. I did 2 coats of black, or 3 coats of black, and then 1 tint coat of red. We have this great red metallic that matches the body of the Eclipse. I think it looks pretty great. Just got to put some clear on it and then you're all done. And that's pretty much how you spray paint a valve cover. And that's a wrap. This is the brand new painted valve cover. Now you are supposed to let them idle for 30 minutes without driving them. And yeah, we're going to do that break-in now. But other than that, it's all good. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.